Look closely. Really closely. Deep into the eyes of a child. See their hope. And ours too. Whoever she is, wherever he lives, every child deserves a childhood. That's why UNICEF is there, for each and every child. Working day in, day out, in 190 countries and territories, reaching the hardest to reach, the furthest from help. It's why we stay to the end and never give up. Will you stand with us?
Stand with us. Stand with us. Stand with us.
For every child.
UNICEF is one of the largest UN organizations with an operating budget of nearly $5 billion a year. The source is mainly due to the voluntary contribution of countries. This voluntary contribution was announced by the country at the United Nations Contribution Conference held in early November every year in New York for the UN General Assembly annual meeting. The main contributions to UNICEF are Japan, the United States, the Nordic countries, Canada, and the UK. UNICEF operates in more than 190 countries and territories around the world. First, a establishment was set on December 11, 1946. The United Nations General Assembly passed Resolution 57 to establish the Emergency Children Relief Fund. International Children Emergency Fund, abbreviated to UNICEF, originally intended to provide emergency aid to European children after the Second World War. On October 6, 1953, the General Meeting of the United Nations approved Resolution 802, decided to change the name of the Emergency Children Relief Fund to the United Nations Children Fund. United Nations Children Fund but kept the abbreviation UNICEF. Secondly, purpose of operation: protection of children's rights, support, meet the basic needs of children, and expand development opportunities for children. Mobilize resources to support countries, especially developed countries, to ensure children are protected. Develop friendly policies and support for children and families. Commitment to protect disadvantaged children such as victims of war, natural disasters, property violence, abuse, and children with disabilities. Collaborate with the UN and humanitarian organizations, provide emergency relief supply to protect children and the protection of being a neutral, non-discriminatory organization and giving priority to the most disadvantaged children and country through national programs promoting equal rights of women and girls, supporting these people to fully participate in multi-faceted development of social life. Coordinates with all partners to work to enable human development was adopted by the international community as well as promote peace and social process under the UN Charter.
Okay, we will make the governments of UNICEF as countries often carries out UNICEF missions through a UNICEF programs of cooperation developed with the host government. This 5 years program focused on practical ways to realize the rights of children and women. Regional office guide this work and provide technical assistance to countries' office as needed. Overall management and administrations of the organization take place at headquarters, where global policies on children's
and monitoring on of UNICEF's work in a justice board made up of 36 members who are government representatives. They establish policy around programs and decide on administrative and financial plans and budgets. Executive board works in coordinated by the vouchers, comprising the president and 4 vice presidents, each officers representing one of the 5 regional groups. These 5 officers, each one representing one of the 5 regional groups, are elected by the executive board each year from among its members, with the presidency rotating among the regional groups on an annual basis. As the matters of custom, permanent members of the Security Council do not serve as officers of the Executive Board. Office of the Secretary of the Executive Board supports and supervises the Executive Board. Is a responsible member for maintaining an effective relationship between the Executive Board and the UNICEF Secretariat, and how to organize the 5 visits of the Executive Board.
The UNICEF organization consists of 38 members, organizes the participation of many large countries such as USA, France, Australia, and many other countries. Vietnam is also a member of UNICEF. In 2019, UNICEF organizes held a complex vaccination week in Vietnam.
You're watching UNICEF television. Their remoteness in the northern hills of Vietnam, the children of the Kim Dong Lower Secondary School are very much aware of their rights. Not only knowing their rights, but also able to express them, as in this life skills poster class.
The meaning of our drawing is that regardless of gender or family background, we all have the right to go to school.
Fellow student Leong Wok Viet agrees. For him, there are no better advocates for children's rights than the children themselves.
If children know about their rights, then they'll be able to express their wishes properly with the adults and have a greater chance of their wishes coming true.
In a neighbouring district, these younger primary school children are well on their way to learning what rights they have, thanks to special classes.
And through the education of the students, we also aim to raise the awareness of the whole community.
Ensuring the rights of children is essential to guaranteeing the best start in life for them. UNICEF and its partners are committed to putting these principles into action for children in Vietnam and all around the world.
When children know they have the right to go to school, then they tell their parents to bring them.
Ultimately, for children like 10-year-old Lu Ti Zeng, it all amounts to the right to a safe and happy childhood, full of hope for the future.
As well as education, I know I have a right to play and a right to sing and dance.
For UNICEF Television, this is Rob McBride in Vietnam. Unite for children.
Hi. Did you know that all children have the right to go to school? To be taken care of when we're ill? To play with our friends? To be listened to when we have a problem? Or to be protected when someone wants to hurt us? How do I know? Because the Convention of the Rights of the Child says so. If any person violates any of your rights, you should make a complaint and demand your rights be respected. You need to ask for help from someone you trust and go to court in your country.
Next, we will find out what is the UNCRC. The United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, or UNCRC, is the basis of all UNICEF's work. It is the most complete statement of children's rights ever produced and is the most widely ratified international human rights treaty in history. Next, we will find out what makes the UNCRC so special. The conventions have 34 articles that cover all aspects of a child's life and set out the civil, political, economic, social, and cultural rights that all children everywhere are entitled to. It also explains how adults and governments must work together to make sure all the children can enjoy all their rights. Every children have rights, whatever their ethnicity, gender, religion, language, abilities, or any other status. The convention must be seen as a whole. All the rights are linked and no right is important than another. The right to relax and play, Article 31, and the right to freedom of expression, Article 30, have equal importance as the right to be safe from violence at Article 19 and the right to education at Article 28. The UNCRC is also the most widely ratified human rights treaty in the world. It's even been accepted by non-state entities.
The convention came into force in Vietnam on 20 December 1990.
What is in the UNCRC? There are 4 articles in the conventions that are seen as special. They enunciate the general principles and they help to interpret all the other articles and play the fundamental role in realizing all the rights in the conventions for all children.
They are Article 2, Non-Discrimination, Article 3, Best Interests of the Child, Article 6, Right to Life Survival and Development, Article 12, Right to be heard.
Hello everyone, as you know, UNICEF is one of the largest UN organizations. It will have very activity to support for human, especially children. UNICEF works in 190 countries and territories to save children's lives, to defend their rights, and to help them fulfill their potential from early childhood through adolescence. And next, our group will introduce some activity and project of UNICEF.
UNICEF has an official website to the people all around the world follow their activities and we can donate through it. UNICEF has many projects such as child protection and inclusion, education, child survival, gender, UNICEF in emergency. In 1946, campaign Food for Europe. After World War II, children in Europe suffer from hunger and disease threat. The United Nations established UNICEF Fund in December 1946 to provide food and clothing to them. In 1959, the Declaration on Children's Rights, the UN declared children's rights. Every child has the right to protection, education, health care, shelter, and nutrition. In 1981, abiding by the modern new rule, encouraged mothers to refeed their babies to reduce some of the children's illness. In 1987, the study Economic Change and the Human Face made the world pay attention to the protection of women and children in dealing with the effect of economic change in poor countries. In 2001, campaign Say Yes for Children, a global movement that encourages people to make change to the world by paying attention to children. Millions of enrollees promised to carry out their work to find ways to improve children's lives and lots of other activities with dedication and effort. In 1965, UNICEF was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for its work of encouraging mutual love between nations.